Okay, so this is the second part. I know you can't see me, but you don't need to see me for this. Right, so what I've done is this piece of fabric represents each of the panels. So again, it doesn't matter what size it is, it's however you've cut the panel. So this one is rectangular, yours might be square, really don't worry about that. Now, I have chosen two colours that are going to be my frames. Now, I've cut them at 2 inches wide. Now, if you look on various websites, you might see them at different widths. Again, it's personal choice. I have seen some where the strip was really wide, which gave a very deep window. And if you're whatever size this is, it's got to balance with this. So again, maybe try a little practice piece and see how you do before you practice on the big panel. But I think 2 inches, so that would give a 1.5 inch finished piece. So you just see that's cut at 2 inches. Again, it could be 2.5, which will give you a finished width of 2 inches. But the two pieces are the same, so that's important. Now, you can either put the darker piece down the long side and I'm trying to fit this in, and the lighter piece along the bottom, or the other way around. Again, it's entirely up to you. It really doesn't matter for this. Now, what is important is the construction. Now, this is our panel, and we're going to add the frame on this side. You have to put the frame on the same side in every panel. So you can't do some on this side and then some on the other side. They have to be on the same side, so that whichever angle you're looking at it, it's going to be the same. So I've cut a strip. Now, the strip is about 2 inches longer than the length of this, and it's important, and I'll show you why. So I'm going to lay my strip so that it matches across the top, but it's hanging down at the bottom. So this piece is really important. Now, before we sew it, I'm just going to turn it over. So I'm going to sew it from this side. Where this bottom edge, we need to leave a 1/4 inch space. So we don't sew, if we're sewing from the top down to the bottom, we stop a 1/4 inch. If we're doing it from this side, because I'm just holding it this side because it's easier for you to see, I'm going to start a 1/4 inch down. Now this is really important because this is where we make our Y seam. So I'm just going to use this little square ruler, and I'm going to mark my 1/4 inch. So you can see I've marked the 1/4 inch. Now, if I stitch along there, that's where, on the way I've positioned it, that's where I'm going to start. So I've sewn a 1/4 inch seam, but I've got this little space at the bottom, which is a 1/4 inch. So I haven't done any reverse stitching on there because I might need to open that a bit wider. Now, this is where the clever bit comes. So we open this up. I'm just going to finger press this. Now, the second piece is going to come along the bottom. Now again, it's longer than it needs to be, but I'm going to fold this piece out of the way, and I'm going to stop a 1/4 inch. It's hard for me to show you this, but if I mark where the 1/4 inch is away from here, so whether you can see that, So what I'm looking for is I'm going to have a little square at the end where there's no stitching. So that's what we're looking at first, where we've got our 2 frames attached, but we've got this space at the bottom. And I'll show you how to do that in the 3rd video, how we're going to join these together to get the mitered edges.